Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world, with me Deepika, coming up in the next 30 minutes. In a major boost to India's self-reliance, Defence Ministry inked $7 billion deal with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited for 97 domestically made fighter jets. From chip to ship, Prime Minister Narendra Modi pushes Make in India mission at UP International Trade Show. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy sentenced to 5 years in jail in Libya funding scandal. Palestinian President Abbas to address UNGA by video link after US refusal to grant him visa to travel to New York. Good evening to all the viewers joining us at this evening broadcast. To begin with the latest. In a landmark step to boost India's self-reliance in air warfare capability, the Ministry of Defence signed 62,370 crore rupees contract with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited for 97 light combat aircraft MK-A1. The deal, in line with India's Atmanirbhar Bharat mission, entails manufacturing of 68 fighters and 29 twin-seaters, the deliveries of which will begin in 2027-28 and will be completed over 6 years. With over 64% indigenous content and 67 new additional features, the aircraft will have advanced systems like Uttam Aisa radar and the Swayam Raksha Kavach self-protection suit. Supported by 105 Indian vendors, the program will generate nearly 12,000 direct and indirect jobs annually, boosting the aerospace ecosystem. Acquired under the BI category of Defence Acquisition Procedure 2020, the LCA Mk-1A stands as the most advanced indigenous fighter ready to meet the operation needs of the Indian Air Force. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hailed the deal. Taking to social media platform, he said the supply of these aircraft by HAL would enhance operational capability of the Indian Air Force to continue their unhindered operations and strengthen defence preparedness of the country. The contract reflects the trust and confidence of the government and the armed forces in the indigenously developed aircraft Tejas, which will be the mainstay of the IAF in the years to come. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Nandita Dagar. Good evening, Nandita. Tell us the key highlights of this project and how will this give a boost to self-reliant India? We're trying to contact Nandita. Meanwhile, this is the tweet put in by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, in which he said that this is a major boost to self-reliant India initiative of the Government of India, as the Ministry of Defence signed this contract with HAL, which is Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, for the procurement of 97 light combat aircraft. Now, this is not for the first time that such initiatives are taking place in India, but since the concept of Make in India and Self-Reliance India came into play, the government has been taking various steps to ensure that India becomes Atmanirbhar, which is self-reliant, and they move steadfastly towards making India a developed nation by the year 2047. Not only this, there have been a very good increase in the budget of the defence industry, the defence sector as well. And most of the Atmanirbhar products, the self-reliant products and Make in India products, production have been witnessed in the defence sector particularly. And these equipments, these fighter jets, they've been used in various key initiatives, in various key operations as well, and the recent operation of Operation Sindoor being a key example of it. Now let's once again cut across to Nandita Dagar, who is joining us live on DD India right now. Good evening, Nandita. Please tell us and take us through the key highlights of this project and how will this give a boost to self-reliant India, Nandita?
Yes, this is very, very pivotal moment, Deepika, because in January 2021, when the Modi government had reposed its faith and trust in the Indian industry and Indian public sector, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. The Indian government had decided that it would purchase 83 light combat aircrafts, Tejas Mark 1A. Now this is above the earlier prototype and the earlier Tejas Mark 1 because that is still a rudimentary aircraft, it is flying, but over that, this has an improvement of the Astra Beyond Visual Range missile, which is a kind of missiles which we saw being used in Operation Sindoor, being deployed in Operation Sindoor. This Mark 1A prototype, 97, the deal for which has been signed between the Ministry of Defence and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, or HAL, which is a public sector undertaking. Significant because it is a 64,000 crore deal, rupees deal, 64,000 crore rupees deal, will generate more than 11,000 jobs, which will be very, very highly skilled jobs. And this aircraft, fighter jet, is actually hosting a lot of equipments which are indigenously developed, which are completely designed and developed by our Indian scientists, Indian engineers, and therefore it is not just an example or not just a forward step in this road of Atmanirbharta or self-reliant India, but also it is a big push for the modernization of our Air Force squadron strength. We know that the MiG-21s, the final MiG-21s, Bisons are going to retire or phase out, get phased out tomorrow in Chandigarh in India, which is a northern Air Force base in India. There they are getting phased out, and as we see that they are being phased out, just a day before that, a very, very happy news, glad tidings coming from South Block in New Delhi, where we hear that these 97 aircrafts will be manufactured completely in India, and of course many ancillary industries which are small, medium, micro enterprises, they will be supporting Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. The engines have already been delivered, the front and rear end fuselages have been delivered. This Mark 1A has already carried out trials of the Beyond Visual Range Astra missile, which I just spoke about. Also, it is equipped with the Uttam active electronically scanned array radar. Now, this is a special kind of radar which is known as the ISA radar, a grid of radars functioning to give a clear airspace or battle space awareness to the pilot in the cockpit of the Tejas LCA Mark 1A.
All right.
Deepika.
Thank you so much, Nandita, for joining us and giving us the latest on this very huge development on 11 years of Make in India initiative that India is celebrating today. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated the third edition of Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show at the Greater Noida Expo Mart. The 5-day event promises to connect local artisans, entrepreneurs and industries with national and global markets, highlighting UP's biggest business showcase.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show. The 5-day expo is taking place at the sprawling Expo Mart in Greater Noida. Spread across 2,200 stalls, the event has brought together artisans, MSMEs, handloom and textile producers, along with the industrial houses from across the state. While speaking at the inauguration ceremony, PM Modi said that at a time when the whole world is experiencing global disruptions, countries will compromise their own growth by relying on others for their own development. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also highlighted the robustness of the Indian economy amid the global economic turbulence.
दूसरों पर निर्भर होने से ज्यादा व्यवस्था कोई और हो ही नहीं सकती। बदलती हुई दुनिया में जो देश जितना ज्यादा दूसरों पर निर्भर रहेगा, उसकी ग्रोथ उतनी ही कॉम्प्रोमाइज रहने वाली है। और इसलिए भारत जैसे देश को किसी पर निर्भर रहना अब मंजूर नहीं है। इसलिए भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना ही होगा। हर वो प्रोडक्ट जो हम भारत में बना सकते हैं वो हमें भारत में ही बनाना है.
Prime Minister also interacted with the exhibitors from different parts of the state, specifically the women entrepreneurs, highlighting the rising role of Nari Shakti, making India a truly self-reliant nation.
I do Saharanpur ki wood ke saath I mix glass and make products for the export market, and I've got international markets where I can sell my products. Employing almost 45 families are involved with our business, and 9 ladies are involved, and they have a good earning out of it.
Meanwhile, Russia is the partner country this year, with 30 companies showcasing their products and services. From handcrafted artistry to cutting-edge technology, the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show has become a confluence of tradition and modern enterprise. With global participation and massive footfall expected, the event is poised to give Uttar Pradesh a bigger role in India's growth story.
Most important is the fact that Prime Minister being here was to give a push to the local artisans from across the country, especially Uttar Pradesh, and these kind of expos will go a long way in not only establishing a manufacturing base here but also establishing India and Uttar Pradesh as a major manufacturing hub for a different kind of products and making them famous worldwide. With camera person Aniket Amakshadungre, DD India.
Aimed at showcasing India's strength in the food processing sector, food sustainability and the production of nutritious and organic food, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today participate in World Food India 2025 at around 6:15 p.m. at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. The 4-day event will have multiple thematic sessions covering a wide range of topics, including India as a global food processing hub, sustainability and net zero in food processing frontiers in food processing, India's pet food industry, processed foods for nutrition and health, plant-based foods, nutraceuticals, specialty foods, among others. It will feature 14 pavilions, each dedicated to specific themes, and will attract around 100,000 visitors. It will also showcase 21 exhibiting countries along with 150 international participants. At World Food India, credit-linked support of over 770 crore rupees will be provided to around 26,000 beneficiaries for micro-projects in food processing sector worth over 2,510 crore rupees under Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises Scheme. Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas Hardeep Singh Puri today said India has achieved the target of 20% biofuel blending 6 years earlier than expected. Addressing the World Hydrogen India Summit in New Delhi, he mentioned that India's target to achieve a production capacity of 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030 is conservative. He further said that green hydrogen is the fuel of the future and will succeed where there is local demand and local production along with local consumption. The minister mentioned that India's oil and gas PSUs have announced plans to set up 1 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030 to be prepared to lead the energy transition. The minister also highlighted that India will emerge as a global champion in production and exports of green hydrogen.
With low-cost solar power, one of the world's largest synchronous grids, a large domestic demand base and unmatched engineering talent, India is well placed to emerge as a global champion in both production and exports of green hydrogen. 50% of the world's Fortune 500 companies have global capability centers in India, where they use Indian engineering talent, where they use Indian technology and innovation system.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi reminisced the journey of Make in India campaign that started 11 years ago. Taking to social media platform X, he said, and I quote him, 11 years ago on this day, the Make in India initiative was launched with a vision to add momentum to India's growth and tap into our nation's entrepreneurial potential. It is gladdening to see how 11 years of Make in India has contributed to furthering economic strength and laying the foundation for Atmanirbharta. It has encouraged innovation and job creation across sectors, unquote. More than 1,000 children in Indonesia's West Java have suffered food poisoning this week from school lunch. Authorities said that this is the latest in a series of outbreaks and another setback for the president's multi-billion-dollar free meals program. The mass poisoning was reported in 4 areas of West Java province. The latest cases follow the poisoning of 800 students who ate school lunches last week in West Java and Central Sulawesi provinces, supplied under President Prabowo Subianto's signature free nutritious meals program. Prabowo's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the latest cases. The Dan Hindayana, head of the National Nutrition Agency, said that overseas the free meals program, kitchens with poisoning cases had been suspended. Now, 7 Buddhist monks were killed and 4 others injured when a rail car trolley operated by cable crashed near the Na Uyana monastery in central Sri Lanka. The accident took place on Wednesday night as 13 monks were returning to the monastery after religious rituals. Authorities believe the cable support snapped as the trolley was being pulled towards the mountain peak. Authorities are conducting an investigation into the accident. Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas will address the UNGA virtually on Thursday amid U.S. opposition that barred his travel to New York. Now, this follows France's summit where Western nations recognized Palestine, a move rejected by U.S. President Donald Trump. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is due to address the UNGA on Friday, has vowed to condemn these recognitions in his UN speech, reiterating rejection of a Palestinian state and announcing a Trump meeting. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has presented a 21-point peace plan incorporating French elements like Hamas disarmament and an international force.
I am now leaving with my wife for the UN General Assembly in Washington. At the UN General Assembly, I will speak our truth, the citizens of Israel, the truth of the IDF soldiers of our country. I will condemn those leaders instead of denouncing the murders, rapists, and child burners, want to give them a state in the heart of the land of Israel. This will not happen. In Washington, I will meet for the 4th time, more than any other leader, with President Trump and discuss with him the great opportunities that our victories have brought and also our need to complete the goals of the war. That means to return all our hostages, to defeat Hamas, and to expand the circle of peace that is open to us following the historic victory on Iran and other victories that we have achieved.
During a possible government shutdown next week, the White House has asked its federal agencies to prepare plans for mass firings. The agencies have been asked to identify programs and projects where discretionary funding will lapse on the 1st of October and to issue notices to employees even if they would otherwise be accepted during a lapse in funding. This is a sharp departure from the US government's earlier shutdown stances, where workers were given temporary furloughs. Denmark accused unknown actors of launching hybrid attacks via drone incursions that briefly closed Billund and Aalborg airports late Wednesday, disrupting air traffic for hours. Drones were also spotted near Esbjerg, Sonderborg airports and the other airbase housing F-16 and F-35 jets and a Holstebro military site, all on Jutland Peninsula. Defence Minister called it systematic, aimed at spreading fear, but no direct military threat. Now, this follows similar disruptions at Copenhagen Airport earlier this week, linked by Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen to Russian provocations denied by Moscow. Poland downed Russian drones on the 10th of September, invoking NATO's Article 4. Denmark considers consultations, however, prioritizes safety over shooting drones down. Danish Justice Minister has labelled the perpetrator a professional actor. There have been no closures at smaller sites as per police. Airports reopened on Thursday, although investigations are ongoing amid Europe's rising drone vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, German Defence Minister Boris Pistorius has said that drone incursions in Denmark point to Putin's strategy.
It comes as no surprise, even if my colleague Mette Frederiksen in Denmark obviously cannot say anything yet where these drones come from. The suspicion is obvious. This is part of Vladimir Putin's strategy without us being able to say anything concrete in this case. As I said, but it is part of what we experience every day. We are not at war, but we are also no longer at complete peace. We are being attacked hybridly in disinformation campaigns and now also by drones. That is the reality we are facing and dealing with.
Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has been handed a 5-year prison sentence on Thursday. He was found guilty by a Paris court of criminally conspiring with Libya over illegal campaign financing. Sarkozy's sentence means he will go to prison regardless of whether or not he launches an appeal. The judge also ordered him to pay a 100,000 euro fine. Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, Porsche. German automakers are among the biggest names in the business, but they have been under pressure for a while, not least due to heavy competition from China. And now, one Chinese firm is trying to make further headway within Germany. Lars Holte is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Good evening, Lars. What exactly are they working upon?
Having me. Well, let me first explain who we're talking about. It's Dream, a Chinese maker of household electronics. So far, their products include robotic vacuum cleaners, robotic lawnmowers, even robotic window washers. Lots of these items. But the company is apparently planning to move into the auto sector too, and they're specifically planning to build luxury cars, entirely electric, of course. So we should know that literally hundreds of automakers have popped up in China in recent years, including the big ones, BYD, Dongfeng or SAIC. But there are also many small ones, many tech companies who are looking at a car more as a consumer electronics item than traditional car makers would. Many with some success, obviously, on the home market. Now, what's different here? Dream wants to make those cars not in China, as all the others do, but in Germany. One would imagine that it's part of Chinese firms trying to make inroads with German and generally European consumers as well.
And Lars, what do we know about the plans for a factory?
We don't know too much yet, but the rumored location is quite interesting. Apparently, Dream is in talks with the state government of Brandenburg to build that plant right outside Berlin, very close to the Tesla plant that's already been producing there for a few years now. From Dream's perspective, the location would make a lot of sense, especially since Tesla is already there, which means there is a lot of infrastructure nearby. There are suppliers that know the area. There are students, possible future workers, who have likely looked at a career in the auto sector. So opening a plant near a competitor's plant is an interesting move. But it wasn't easy for Tesla to open their plant, and it won't be easy for Dream to get anything done quickly either. There will be major protests again. There are citizen groups that are fighting such development tooth and nail. And there are even politicians, usually keen on supporting economic development in their region, that are saying that there might just not be room for another gigafactory.
All right. Thank you so much, Lars, for joining us and getting us the latest on this. Moving on to sports now. The BCCI on Thursday announced a 15-member India squad for the upcoming 2-test home series against the West Indies. Shubman Gill will continue as the captain after leading India to a 2-2 draw in England. Ravindra Jadeja will be his deputy in the absence of Rishabh Pant. Pant is recovering from a toe fracture sustained in the England series. Dhruv Jurel and N. Jagadisan are the two keeper batters in the squad. World number 1 bowler Jasprit Bumrah has been included, while Shreyas Iyer, on a 6-month break from red ball cricket, is not part of the squad. The squad includes Shubman Gill as the captain, Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul, B. Sai Sudarshan, Devdutt Padikkal, Dhruv Jurel as the wicketkeeper, Ravindra Jadeja as the vice-captain, Washington Sundar, Jasprit Bumrah, Akshar Patel along with Nitish Kumar Reddy, Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, Kuldeep Yadav and N. Jagdishan as the wicketkeeper. Moving on, the 2026 Guinness World Record has showcased unusual and remarkable achievements from around the world. The book features records for tallest and longest limbed animals, fastest movement over short distances, creative vehicles, and human feats in gymnastics, strength and endurance. The new edition was announced on Thursday. And with this, it's a wrap here on DD India Live, but news and updates will continue. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching DD India. Namaskar.